Let's solve this assignment together. So our script should accept both family seed and mnemonic as secret, and we need to use the helper methods to validate the both kind of secrets. We should also take destination address and amount information from the user via the command line, and of course we need to validate those two fields. Also check if the user is trying to send more XRP than available in his or her account balance. Also write error handling code when there is any error in fetching data from the ledger. Let's start with point number 5, that is error handling. Now I'll pass a secret whose account is not active on the XRP ledger, so it starts throwing error. Let's see why it's throwing error. Let's first spot the line of code which is throwing the error, which is line number 30. Let me comment that out and see what's the actual output when we are trying to fetch the data from the ledger, which is here, this line of code. So let me execute this once again, and we are getting this output. So whenever our request erupts in an error, that is this client.send method with the command account information, whenever there is an error field in the output, we'll just output the real error message to the console window and then halt the execution of this script. So the error message is present inside the field error underscore message. This is safe to display to the user. So this error handling code handles all the situation wherein the request, that is account information request, erupts any kind of error. Now let me move this multi-line comment to where it was previously after this console log, and then execute the same command and see how the error handling works. As you can see, it doesn't output some weird errors. It clearly states that the account is not found on the XRP ledger. So whenever this account information command throws some error, this error handling code handles it and outputs the exact error message onto the console window. Now let's accept the destination address from the command line. Let's modify the entire thing here, because we need to also accept both family seed and mnemonics. So instead of asking family seed, let me change it to secret type. Maybe we'll give a menu to enter numbers for each secret type, and then we shall accept the secret itself, and then the destination address, which is our address by the way, and then the amount to be transferred to this R address. That's it. Now let's show a hint, that is a menu to enter this secret type. So we need to accept both, that is family seed and mnemonic. So I'll give numbering to it, that is 1 means family seed and 2 means mnemonic. So secret type 1 family seed and 2 mnemonic. Now we need to handle all these inputs one by one. So now we have code to check the validity of the family seed here. Let's also check the validity of mnemonic when the user enters mnemonic. So there is a method called isValidMnemonic which checks for the validity of the mnemonic type of secret. So this is the secret which is at the position 0, 1, 2 and 3. Third position 0, 1, 2 and 3. So we need to change the number here to 3. Okay. Now we need to check what the user actually selected, what secret type the user selected. So the input is 0, 1 and 2. So if it's equal to 1, so all the user inputs will be in string. Whatever input entered by the user will be treated as string by default. So we will be comparing it against the string 1 and not number 1. Okay. Now let me copy this. And if the user has selected the option 2, which means he or she is willing to enter the secret in the form of mnemonic. Now moving further, this line of code derives the account information using family seed entered by the user. So let's take this off and place it in the appropriate block. But let's declare the variable name at the very top. And we can't declare account as constant because, as the name suggests, we can't change its value. So let's make it let. And then place the code in the corresponding blocks. For family seed, this is the block, that is option 1. But the secret is at the position 3 and not 2. So let me change this and let me copy this. And this is the block wherein we try to validate the mnemonic. So we derive the account information using mnemonic. And since this is TypeScript file, it's expecting the type information, but we have nothing here which is undefined. So let me hover over here. So it's expecting XRPL underscore account object type, but it's currently undefined. So I'll just make it any, or let me show it one more thing. If you have const inside the blocks, for example, like this, the constant account will not be recognized outside of that block. If you hover your cursor here, cannot find account variable. So we can't do that. So the best way right now is to just make it any type, and that should fix the error. Yeah, that's a quick fix, by the way. I don't want to go into detail and form an object type here, so I just made it any. So now secret has been validated, and now destination, address and amount. We need to count the position each time, because if we make mistake in that, we will keep wondering what's the error, because it's not syntactical error, by the way, so it is hard to find that out. Now, since the user input from the command line is always a string, we can directly have it here as amount, because it's a string and this amount field requires the input as string. We also need to convert it into drops, but that we shall do later on. Now, since we are dealing with amount, let's even check if the user actually has the appropriate balance to make this transaction. So the balance information is present inside account data and balance field inside the account data. So it should be greater than the amount the user is trying to send plus base reserve, which is currently 10 XRP. So let's count this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And I'll even hard code the base reserve here, which is 10 XRP as of now. In an ideal world, we should have this information in a separate file and we should import it and place the variable name here. For now, let me hard code it. If the available balance is actually less than the required balance, then we shall display a message and halt the execution of this script. Let's just output a warning sign, that is, the user has low balance, your balance is low, and halt the execution of this script. Well, if the user has 10 XRP and he is trying to send 1 XRP, this warning will be shown because 10 XRP is base reserve. So let's also mention that you must have 10 XRP plus whatever he or she is trying to send, that is the amount you want to send. Clear as that. Okay. So what else is required? So let's execute and see how it works. So let me check the command here. I'll just enter So which shows the exact usage of this script. So let me run this command now. Node is the command, dist/index is the file name, the path of the file. The secret type is one, which is family seed. So let me copy this family seed. And destination address, I have a spare active R address which I'll copy here. And let me send 5 XRP. Remember, we forgot to convert this to drops. So it actually says you have low balance. That's because when we retrieve account information, the balance is present in the form of drops. Okay, so we need to convert it to proper integer format by dividing it by 1 million, because 1 million drops equals 1 XRP. So if you divide it by 1 million, you will get equivalent integer, that is real XRP value. And one more thing, this balance is in fact present as string, so we need to convert it to number. And if you observe here, we have a red line. That is because the user input is also a string, so we need to convert that to number as well. Okay, so let me execute the same command once again, but I suspect the balance is still low. That is, I guess we had 14.999 XRP or something like that. So let me check that. So node, the file name, the secret type is family seed, so I'll enter 1 as my choice from the menu here. And the secret, of course I have selected family seed, so I have to enter family seed here. And the R address, I'll copy my active R address. And the amount, I'll enter 5. Okay, it still says that I have low balance. So let's first check the balance. We have the balance information here, so let me just console log that out to the console window. So this is how we usually debug our code. So let's check that and execute the same code. Oh, look at that. We have 14.999 XRP. So 10 XRP is base reserve and I'm trying to send 5 XRP, which is 15 XRP. But I have 14.99999 XRP, which is lower than the required amount. So let me try to send 0.99999 XRP. And then we again forgot to convert this to drops in the payload. So of course it starts throwing error. Clearly we have forgot to convert this to drops. So let's do that. So this should be converted to drop. So, and then have to be converted back to string. So I'll just wrap it around this method and then let me multiply it by 1 million. That's how you convert the integer to drop, that is XRP to drops. This is in string format, so first convert it to number and then multiply it with 1 million and then convert the entire result to string. This should work actually. So let us try that. So let me execute the same code and then it generates the signature. Fine, we should send this over the network using client object and submit method, which we will do in our next video tutorial. So let's see what else we need to do. So far we only tested it for family seed. So now let's see how it works for mnemonic secret type. So let's just look for the command. So I'll select 2 now, which is mnemonic. The secret type is mnemonic. We have a valid XRPL account with mnemonic as the secret, but this XRPL account is not active on the XRP ledger. So let's see how our script reacts to it. That is what output we will get from our script. So I'll paste my R address and some value here as amount 1 maybe. It doesn't have any amount because it's not even active on the ledger. And it appropriately tells that the account is not found. That is, let's investigate. So we selected the mnemonic, that is this. Oh wait, the very first line. This script is expecting the user to input at least 6 commands, 6 arguments, okay? So we need to change this to 6 and not 3. We still have so many bugs in it, so let's fix it one by one. So the user selected 2 as he or she is willing to input mnemonic. So the execution enters this line of code. It validates. If it's valid mnemonic, then it derives the account information. Till then everything is fine. Now when we connect to the test network and try to fetch the account information, there is no account information on the ledger because it's not active on the ledger. So there is an error and we display that error onto the console window. Now let's execute this for a valid, that is active XRPL account which has mnemonic as its secret. My own R address, and I'll be transferring 1 XRP. Okay, as you can see we have enough balance, that is 10 XRP base reserve and 1 XRP we are trying to transfer, which is 11 XRP, but we have a balance of 20 XRP. So all the validation is cleared and it generates the signature. And the balance doesn't decrease because we are not yet submitting this transaction. We are just generating the signature. In my next video, we will be showing you how to submit the transaction. Now let's find and fix some more bugs, possible bugs. User might enter anything other than 1 and 2 for secret type. We should even validate for the destination address and the amount information. Always remember to validate all the user inputs before processing it. Okay. So if user enters secret type other than 1 and 2, in that case, account doesn't have any field, hence it generates error. So a possible fix is, at the very beginning, we should check if the secret type the user has entered is anything other than 1 and 2. Okay, so let's do that. Note that I'm not talking about the actual secret because we are already using helper methods to validate it, but user might select the wrong option from the menu. So in that case, let me first explain it one more time. What happens if user selects anything other than 1 and 2? The account derivation is present only inside the blocks 1 and 2. If user selects anything other than 1 and 2, the account won't be derived and hence it doesn't have address field. It will be undefined and hence it will throw error. So let's check if the user selected valid options, that is between 1 and 2. So if it's not string 1 and if the user input is not even string 2, in that case, let's output a message to the user, that is, please enter proper. We shall use the same wordings as in the menu here, that is secret type. So we'll enter, that is, we shall output please enter appropriate secret type from the menu. And the menu displays 2 options, that is 1 is family seed and 2 is mnemonic. And in case he enters something else other than 1 and 2, let's halt the execution of this script. Okay, that fixes this issue. This secret has been taken care using helper methods, is valid seed, is valid mnemonic. Now let's validate the destination address. This is important too. What if the user enters destinations? If it's his or her own account, he or she might enter a secret which is not accepted here. So let's check for the validity of the destination address, which is very simple. We have already done that before using a helper method isValidAddress. So let me count the placement 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. It's in the 4th place. So we will check. If it's not valid, we will output a message to the user, a simple message that is, you have entered invalid R address as destination address. That's it, as simple as that. So this validates the destination address. Now we have to validate this last field, which is amount. Now this is tricky. We have already checked if the user is trying to send more XRP than the available balance. But what if the user has entered a string or a letter instead of a number? So let's fix that. So here, let's simply try to convert the user entered amount information to number using number method. So the amount is present at position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay. So if it returns NaN, which means not a number, you can't equate it to another NaN, which is if the user input is anything other than a number, you can't compare it with something else which is not a number. Those two things will always be different. Okay, so let me have the messages here, but this doesn't work clearly, because if something is not a number and if something else is not a number, that doesn't mean both these not a numbers are same. So let's check that. So let's enter A here instead of valid amount. So it throws error. Clearly, this error is from the signature, that is the sign method, and not from this if statement. This if statement is completely skipped because this condition never satisfies, that is NaN is not equal to NaN. So the entire block gets skipped and the entire validation passes through and the error is arised in the sign method. So let me output this. To clarify things, this should output NaN itself and nothing else. So this, you might think NaN equals NaN, which is not true. Okay, so let's fix that. There is an easy fix. So let me remove this. In JavaScript, there is a method, built-in method called isNaN, which returns true, the boolean true, in case whatever we pass to it is NaN. Okay, this is capital N. Okay, so if the entire thing we pass to it is converts to not a number, then a message that please enter valid amount to transfer appears, as you can see here, and the execution of this script halts. So only when you enter valid number, this script executes. Okay, so let me remove this now. So we have fixed most of the things which was assigned for the assignment. So if there are anything more, I guess those things are just little things and we can have quick fixes for it. But most of the major issues and the assignment tasks has been completed here. So let's see you in the next video lesson.